Don't lose your way. Your mind, we have to be as one.
What is going on, YouTube? Warstorm here, coming at you guys with another video today. Today I'm going to bring you guys an updated deck profile. But before I get too far in, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm going to be streaming live over on the APS Facebook page some matches from locals from Yu-Gi-Oh! Day tomorrow. So make sure I'll have a link. There's a link down below in the description box. I'll have a video letting you guys know. It's going to be going up, and so you guys can watch and see some of the new link mechanic in action. I noticed that I've a little bit of just briefly segging through YouTube. I haven't seen a ton of the mechanic in action, so this will be your guys' first chance. If you can't get to locals this weekend, it'll be your chance to see the mechanic in action, and it's very, very early stages. But anyway, so today I wanted to bring you guys a Herald deck profile. I've seen a lot of different YouTubers talking about this deck and bringing deck profiles for this deck, but a new interesting concept I had is said rather than saying, frick links suck, I hate them, I wanted to say, okay, what could we do with links to actually, abuse them and integrate them into Herald? I remember finding a video on one of the Facebook groups I'm in that showing some link combos with Herald and the Cyber Angel engine, and I think I've kind of found a kind of happy medium between some of the problems I saw with that list and some things I like. I did some testing with the deck on stream last night, and I'm pretty happy with this version of the deck. I made a couple of changes, which I'm going to note, but I'm not going to take a ton of your guys' time, but I am going to kind of explain some of the reasonings with the deck. Now, the whole main 3-card combo with this deck is it's basically a 3-card combo. You need Cyber Angel Ben 10, Cyber Angel Ida 10, and this little ritual spell we got in Raging Tempest called Machine Angel Absolute Ritual. So what you would do is you will ritual summon Ida 10 out, and using Ben 10 as a tribute fodder using the ritual spell. Ben 10 will trigger searching yourself a light fairy, and that will be your Venus here. Then Ida 10 will trigger searching another copy of a ritual spell. Typically this will search your second absolute ritual. Then you will normal summon the Venus that you searched off of the Ben 10 here, and then you will summon 3 Shine Balls out of your deck. Then you still have these if you have another way to continue on since you have the absolute ritual in your hand, if you have an access to a second ritual, you can use this absolute ritual in your hand to summon another Ida 10 from your hand, assuming you have another way to search it, or a Herald of Perfection, or whatever other combo pieces you might have in hand. You can use these Shine Balls as the cost to ritual summon. So then you can use Venus's effect again, and then summon 3 more Shine Balls out of your deck, and you're kind of seeing where this is going. This whole deck is designed basically, rather than saying not using links, is using and abusing some of the link aspects of the deck in Herald. And if you guys watched the stream last night over on Twitch, you kind of saw some of the combos, and Venus is definitely a really powerful card in the right deck, and this is definitely the deck for it. Herald is kind of like self-explanatory. I know a lot of people just don't like Herald. A card that literally just says no to you is pretty annoying to play against. But I still think it's an absolute must in this deck. Having a really good pre-prep target is just godly amazing, and the ritual spell for Dawn for Herald combos really well with Ben 10, because not only do you get your Ben 10 search, but you also get a Dawn of the Herald will banish itself to Dawn of the Herald will banish itself to add the Ben 10 back, and that's really nice because the way chain links work, you can make Dawn chain link 2 and then Ben 10 chain link 1, so they can't strike your Ben 10 search and grave, and that's pretty decent. That is pretty damn good. The Star Seraph engine is still in here, mostly because Firewall Dragon here can special summon it out of your graveyard and out of your hand and get the extra copies out of your hand. So the whole, I have conflicting normal summons really isn't an issue anymore, especially with the Brilliant Fusion engine, which I'll get to in a moment. But overall, I just feel like the Star Seraphs are still a really solid combo piece for this deck. And I just feel like the draw 3 combo still lives in links. You don't really make the combo nearly as much, but it's not like the link summoning doesn't really restrict this deck's extra deck access all that much, because you don't really make anything other than the links in the extra deck. You're not going to make anything other than Deltaris and Ouroboros, depending if you're going first and second. Christie's a basic no-brainer. Being um, like the biggest thing with Christie before is you needed combos like Gale Dogger or a damn near perfect setup to get Christie's effect engrave. But now with Venus essentially is a one-card Christie. If you have Christie in hand and you put Venus and all its shine balls in the graveyard, you instantly have a. If you have Venus online and you tribute off a ritual, you can basically summon this Christia for your hand for free after you've used all the shine balls engraved. And that's really strong. But also, Firewall Dragon can special summon Christia out of your hand after you've gotten the search. The Brilliant Engine is pretty damn good in this deck. Yes, you don't use your normal summon that much, but you tend to have extra pieces kind of locked in your hand. And I find, you can also run Lazuli over Garnet, but I don't think the combo to, send Lazuli and add a Shine Ball back is all that great. Most of the time with this deck, since you have a plethora of light monsters, you're just going to want to put a light monster in graveyard, and that can combo really well, because if you have an absolute ritual in grave, you can send something like a Bin 10 or an Ina 10 to grave, and then shuffle it back for the ritual cost. You're kind of seeing, that's one of the things I think that the Brilliant Engine kind of is really, really strong. Another important thing to notice, Seraph Knight is a light fairy. As far as the rest of the spell lineup, I don't think there's a ton to say. If Terraforming were to get semi-limited or limited, I would probably just put an Upstart in. If it were to get limited, I'd probably just put like an Upstart and maybe a second. And if it would really depend, I'd probably just put like a Upstart, maybe a Soul Charge in. Like, I don't think Terraforming while it would hurt this deck, it wouldn't completely kill it off. I just think it'll make it'll make it a lot slower, a lot less consistent to get your Ritual Sanctuaries online. But I would not play, if Terraforming is at 3, I would not play less. It is amazingly good. Same thing goes for Preparation Rites. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the main deck. I don't think there's a lot of changes to really make. But it's really up to you, and you guys obviously let me know in the comments below. As far as the extra deck, you have the obligatory Seraph Knight. It actually works really well in this deck because it is a first. If you've already fusion summoned it properly with Brilliant Fusion, you can shuffle 5 spells back to bring it out of the graveyard and grant yourself an extra normal summon again. That's pretty strong. And then as far as the link lineup, triple Firewall might seem like a bit much, but you do go into the second one. At least 2 is definitely necessary. And there's times where you will go into the third one, and it's just an incredibly broken card. I cannot see it being any less than $60 upon code's release. And it's an incredibly potent card, and a lot of the combos I find will feel with this card. If you can have a Firewall Dragon that has like multiple links to it, and a Herald of Perfection online, or a Christia, your opponent's going to have a really bad time. Like, Christia in this is basically game because they can't special summon, and unless you're playing against something like True Dracos, it's really going to just give your opponent a terrible time. Even in the case of True Dracos, I think you could honestly just bounce any of their tribute fodder and you're good to go. But in most situations, that's going to be game ending against a lot of decks. As far as the other Link monsters that we don't have yet, we have Proxy Dragon here, which is a Mega Tin promo. You could definitely, if you're just playing the deck now, you're waiting for Code of the Duelist, you could definitely replace the Proxy Dragon with maybe this monster over here, the Star Grail, because it's 2 different types and attributes. It's a little hard to summon, but you could probably put maybe another Gaia Saber in here along with another Decode Talker. It's really up to you. You could put a Beatrice in even. But Proxy Dragon, I've been noticing how good this card is. I cannot say that enough, how good Proxy Dragon is. Its summoning is so generic that if you have, let's just say you have Gofu and a normal summonable monster. I've explained this combo before. You can summon Gofu and normal summon another monster, and then you have a Proxy Dragon plus a Mrs. Radiant. And speaking of Mrs. Radiant, that's definitely a card you could also put in the extra deck. But I just think Proxy Dragon is incredibly good. As far as others, Akashic Magician is a very interesting card. It's kind of difficult to make the use of it because you have to have something like Firewall Dragon underneath it to get that big value out of it. But when you do get it off, you're going to mill 5 cards, and that is good enough on its own. Because the downside of it can only be summoned once per turn, but being able to excavate 5, add 1, and then mill 5 in a deck like this is really good. You just have to summon it in the right spot, because if you try to summon it in underneath the firewall will get bounced to your extra deck, because it bounces when it's link summoned, it bounces all things around. So you kind of have to summon it to the right zone. But I still think Akashic, if you get it off, is a pretty strong card. Definitely recommend playing in a lot of your extra decks if you can meet its fairly easy summoning mechanics. Outside of that, it's pretty much a lot of generics. Link Spider is pretty much like your early combo climber. You can get extra shine balls out of your hand. Gaia Saber is just one of the better generic Link monsters we're getting early on. Decode Talker, along with Herald, can really protect your board. And we have Ningrisu over here. I don't go into it a ton, but it is, it's pretty easy to go into with just a Proxy Dragon and a Link Spider, and it's being able to basically remove any problem card with tributing one monster is pretty decent. As far as the exceeds, there's Dagusto Emerald for cycling your engine back, pretty self-explanatory. Like, I've always played Emerald and Herald, and I swear by it. And then the three level 4s for your Saros. We have Ouroboros is a little bit better turn 1 because it can hand loop your opponent. And Deltaros is a little better turn 2. As far as other options, and I'll have some of these listed in the comments. If you're playing, you could definitely play a Diamond, the Constellar, the XYZ you can stack on top of Deltaros main phase 2, because Herald does have a little bit of problem dealing with annoying floaty annoying decks like Burning Abyss and stuff. Even though those decks aren't relevant, it has trouble dealing with decks that, like to mill. Night's Warrens could be a little bit more relevant, so it's definitely not a bad card to have in your extra deck. There's also Masquerade for dealing with annoying. And there's also Trigate Wizard, which we are getting in the Link Structure deck later this year, November. So anyway, guys, about comes to the end of the video. Let me you guys think of this Herald deck profile. Do you think this is the direction to take the deck? Do you think that it's better just to have a standard Herald list with other engines? Let me know down in the comment section below. As always, thank you guys for watching. It's Orstorm signing out.